Alright, guys, Captain Alex Mason here, and I'm going to be talking to you about Advanced Warfare. As it turns out, I just got the latest Game Informer magazine, and I'm going to show you it later. But first I want to just say, according to Sledgehammer and Activision, this will be like, it's going to have another new storyline. Apparently, this is called the entire universe. This is like the 5th universe now for the Call of Duty series, and I kind of got stumped. I thought there was only 3, but then I remembered that there was the very first Call of Duty storyline, which was World War II. You've got Black Ops and World at War, the Modern Warfare series, the Ghosts, and now Advanced Warfare. So now this is like their 5th universe, as it turns out. Now, I'm going to show you the Game Informer magazine. I'm not going to get too detailed into the actual magazine, because I'm not sure if they really want me to do that, but, so yeah, we got the release picture. It's got the Golden Gate Bridge, like they showed in the reveal trailer. On the other side, it says, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, a new era of combat, and we got, hang on, I don't want you to see that. We got a couple of, what looks like, kind of like a combination of an A-10 Thunderbolt 2 and an SR-71 Blackbird. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm trying. It kind of looks like both. That's why I said that. Like a hybrid of some sort. We got what looks to be like a new aircraft carrier, which will be kind of awesome. They did release pictures of some of their newest weapons, but they didn't really tell people what the weapons are called. Let's see. I'm just reading some of this. There's going to be CG cutscenes, apparently, in this next one. The difference between this Call of Duty game and the others is that apparently the developers, Sledgehammer Games, want to make the objectives more clear and coherent. I guess, which could kind of make sense. I mean, some of the objectives in some of the previous COD games were kind of but they made sense. I'm just reading these side notes. I might just show a little bit of pictures. They did bring some old voice actors back. One of the voice actors did Modern Warfare 3 voiceover. I can't remember which multiplayer team it was. We have well, there's definitely going to be multiplayer in here. It's going to be a next-gen experience, like all these new games. Now, what they said here, apparently in quotes, you can probably imagine the possibilities of a lot of the stuff you saw in single player and how it would apply online. So I'm not sure if they're hinting that some of this stuff featured in single player and campaign mode are going to be featured in multiplayer. They're going to have optical camouflages, so it's kind of like Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon suits. That's bad. That's bad comparison. Don't think that. That was a really bad. Oh, they have another likely to be included in Advanced Warfare's version of the now traditional co-op mode. Also, they've included esports friendly features, which will be no different for Advanced Warfare. This guy. It's really hard to read with these freaking glasses on, but I don't really want to complain. So again, there's a new terrorist cell. Not much any information I can gather from the terrorist cell, except for the fact that they said, oh, it's one of those like cartel-like people. Of course, it's going to be a new engine, of course. I don't know what the new engine is called. There's going to be some impressive amount of on-screen activity, yada yada yada. They're gonna I know graphics are a big deal, but here's something new. The character models with pupils that actually dilate. So again, it's that next gen stuff. Main results. There's going to be a dramatic upgrade. We didn't really talk about DLCs as much as the... One thing I like about this Game Informer issue was that they released more information on this game than they did Ghosts. I'm not gonna lie, Ghosts was still a good game. I just wish they would have released more information a little bit. I mean, because it kinda really... So, definitely, last-gen people, they don't have to worry about buying a PS4 or an Xbox One, because that will also be available to you for this game. They won't be I hope I can put these words straight, but apparently Sledgehammer is not dealing with old gen. It's a different developer, just like how the Wii U, when it came to like Ghosts, was being worked with by Treyarch, and the same goes for Modern Warfare 3 for the Wii version that was developed by Treyarch. Oh, so the audio in the game is kind of from the highlights of the Dead Space series with its stellar sound. I never really played Dead Space. I've seen PewDiePie and a couple of other people play Dead Space. Kind of scary, actually. I mean, for a third-person shooter. Dead Space was Dead Space, that's that. That was a long time ago. That's like bragging about being, a football team. So they had 2.5 years to really create this game. There was something here about an old third person, but I can't remember. Ah, here it was. Well, first we'll go with the AAA franchise news. I'm just reading it. Oh. Previous entries in the Call of Duty series have reached out to the broader entertainment world, from Ed Harris and Gary Oldman. For those who don't know, Ed Harris voiced the first Jason Hudson, the Hudson that I kind of liked. I mean, no offense, but Black Ops 2 Hudson, I don't want to say he didn't pull the role off, it just didn't sound right. I wasn't ready for that. Gary Oldman, of course, did Victor Reznov and possibly other characters. Robert Downey Jr. Oh, and promotional stuff, along with Eminem, of course. Because Eminem, if you guys recall, from the Black Ops 1 credits, they played Won't Back Down and Easter Egg on 5, also in Black Ops. And then the ending for Ghosts, which was Survival. I'm just reading down a bit. Kevin Spacey is going to be involved in the next game. I think he was one of the guys who did Modern Warfare voiceover. I'm not sure. Oh, James Cameron. Apparently, CEO Jonathan Irons, but also his likeness via a full motion capture that was performed at the same studio James Cameron is using for the second Avatar. Now, no, it's not the last Airbender Avatar. It's the one that Sam Worthington was starring in. You know, the man in the wheelchair, who is also the voice of Captain Alex Mason, who was one of my favorite antagonists in the Call of Duty series from the Black Ops trilogy. My producing partner first told me about the project, and I was very interested, Spacey says. Participating would be a first and would introduce me to a whole new audience, which is always an interesting aspect to doing something new. I can tell you, after doing it, that the technology is just remarkable. Alright, so, okay, I might actually have to take my glasses off a bit for this, because this is really hurting my eyes. Before Sledgehammer was approached to finish Modern Warfare 3, the third-person project was in deep development. We had spent 6 or 8 months on it, and were really getting into the story. Studio co-founder Glenn Schleyfold says, "We had some really cool mechanics. We had a big moment that I would have loved to get into a game someday, but it's not something we could do in first person. Rather than being a globe-trotting affair like many other entries in the series, this early Sledgehammer project was set in one specific area during the Vietnam War." Everyone thought that the war was in Vietnam, right? It was in Cambodia and Laos too. See, I knew that. If you recall, there was parts in Black Ops where the Vietnam War actually did take place in Laos, because there were VC in there, like VC Bookie, if you guys remember him. The guy who's like, "No talk, play!" We did a lot of research on that war, a hidden war, and there were thousands of miles of underground tunnels. We had the tunnels, and we were definitely going for some Dead Space moments. It was going to be a fresh take on war. That's for sure. To be honest, this hasn't really been the first third-person shooter for Call of Duty to ever be canceled. In fact, this wasn't really the first Call of Duty in any of the developers' lives that was ever canceled. In fact, I'm just going to pull up the site a bit, because I want to be able to actually look at the list and tell you why some of these things are canceled. Some of them actually sounded like pretty good games, or at least looked nice. I saw some of the demos, like some of the early release gameplay of these old canceled games. First one was Call of Duty Combined Forces, then Devil's Brigade, then Tactics, real-time card game, which was supposed to be made by Upper Deck, but that again was scrapped. Now Call of Duty Tactics, I can't remember this. So this game's developer was Vicarious Visions or something. It was like supposed to teach you how to use strategy. Again, third person. It was supposed to be in the Second World War. If you go to the wiki site, they show a little bit of some 40-second gameplay of that scrapped game. Devil's Brigade was supposed to be more likely on a certain front. Developers was in underground development. Was supposed to be mainly focusing on Italy, but apparently. So again, I believe, yeah, it's third-person shooter again, or at least from what I found. Combined Forces, we're going to figure out more about that real quick. Again, was scrapped. This was made by Spark Unlimited, which I believe did some of the early versions of Call of Duty. It was supposed to take place after the completion of the Finest Hour game, because the game was projected to make $10.5 million in funding from Activision to complete. Their first game was only expected to take $2 million, but it took over $8 million by the end after the legal encounters with Electronic Arts in 2003, and other production problems that arose afterward. The proposal seems to describe a game that would be more of an expansion pack rather than the wholly new experience. Activision rejected the proposal and ended their contract with Spark Unlimited. Well, that sucks. Also, it kind of got into a lawsuit, so they really couldn't use it. One game that or at least one war that I wish they would have featured in the freaking game was make like a freaking Korean War game. Because you know what? That would have been more interesting. I'm going to make this a two-parter.